Well, it's fitting. A couple days after Groundhog Day, the Toledo Walleye had a Groundhog Day-like experience as we welcome in Matt Melzak. Matt, a week ago we were talking about, wow, what a rough weekend salvaged by a 9-1 victory on Sunday. Well, here we are, 7 days later, almost a rougher weekend salvaged by a 9-1 victory on Sunday.
Yeah, it would have been a really rough weekend if Toledo didn't win on Sunday, but they did. And then when you look at it, and even with talking with Coach Mickish over the weekend, I said to him a couple times, you know what, if you win Sunday, you still end up with 4 out of 6 points. You're going against an opponent that's in a different conference. It's not like you're losing ground because you've managed to, Wheeling's the only one that's winning every game now in the division. Fort Wayne had a solid weekend, but still, you're holding serve with those teams. You're not losing a lot of ground because of the fact that you end up picking up 4 out of a possible 6 points for you this weekend.
And it's one of those odd things that they played the Norfolk Admirals and have never lost to Norfolk in regulation. 2 shootout losses this weekend, but the big victory on Sundays, they remain in first place in the Central Division.
Yeah, and it was an interesting weekend overall, Mark. I mean, it was, from really being flustered a little bit by how, the Admirals like to play.
Yes.
And it just showed you a lot when we got to Sunday how important it was to not only get the lead, which they did on Saturday, but to be able to get, a multiple goal lead, get up by 2, get up by 3 goals. Because it changed, you could see it during the game, how Norfolk had to come out of what they like to do. They want to get ahead, as we saw Friday night. They want to sit back. We've seen the 1-3-1 before. You'll see it again. I mean, teams are going to continue to try to play it against Toledo. And Toledo, they didn't get that second goal. And that 5-on-3 on Saturday is probably the spot where they should have gotten one. They didn't. And obviously, you don't score every time you have a 5-on-3. So if they had gotten one there to make it 2-0, maybe that game plays out a lot different on Saturday. Because once we saw Toledo get 2 and 3 in the first period on Sunday, they exploded.
We're not that far removed from the Toledo Hockey Hall of Fame festivities, and Brandon Hawkins continues to make his case to become a future member of the Toledo Hockey Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I think he's already hit that point. I mean, you got 200 points now in a Toledo uniform, which he accomplished this weekend. He continues to climb all of the ladders in Toledo Walleye scoring. The one will be take him a little while to catch Shane Birch back at points. But I think on the undercard, when you look at what he's done, when you combine the Toledo Storm and the Toledo Walleye, I mean, he's currently 9th now in total points by hitting that 200 mark, tied with TJ Hensick. So, you look at the guys that are above him are some great names. It's the Toledo Hockey Hall of Famers. So he's gonna continue to pass some folks as he goes along. And you know what? If he hits Rick Judson's number in the mid-400s, then you probably could label him as maybe the greatest player that's ever played here.
We're in the month of February. Month of March comes right after that. And then April, we're getting the postseason. Walleye, first place in the Central Division. This week, they've got a home-and-home against Kalamazoo. Wings are down towards the bottom of the Central, yet they have held the Walleye number all year long.
It's very interesting because Toledo's beaten up on Iowa, right? And Kalamazoo goes and they get beat by Iowa. And you just can't, sometimes you just can't figure these things out. But Kalamazoo, with their goaltending and with their defensive style that they like to play, they've frustrated Toledo a lot this year. So we'll see. It'll be an interesting test this weekend, and actually it comes at a good spot because they're kind of similar to what we see with Norfolk. So Toledo very used to that, and hopefully this weekend they can make it count and get some wins against the Kalamazoo. They do have 2 this year, so it's not like they've been shut out in the win column. But it would be nice to get a couple starting Friday night at home.
That's right. Home on Friday. Saturday, go to Kalamazoo. And, of course, you see that Friday game right here on the BCSN family of networks. Matt Melzak, thank you so much.
Appreciate it, Mark.